And um, it's definitely different than it was before because now there is Heidi and the kids, and I am in love with Heidi, and I'm in love with my kids, and I can't get them out of my heart, nor do I want to. I mean, and I've told her that. I mean, my ex knows that. It's like she's not coming back to someone that has a heart to give her. You know what I mean? Like that has room for that. And um, yeah, but it doesn't make it easier because it makes you feel like shit, and you feel like you're in love with two people, and you just want to not think about it and not be there. But for obvious reasons, Heidi wants to talk about it and have closure and us discuss it. And when we're not, we just go on with our life and we're living our life. And, you know, her family comes for Thanksgiving and everything's going great. But then when we have to revisit it, then it brings stuff up again. And, or when I hear from her, or, and it's like, it's this weird, like, I love her as a person and so glad she's in my life as a friend. And I don't want that to be all the time because it's just not something I can handle. But every once in a while, especially because Heidi's okay with it and involved, and she knows every time I get a text, and I just don't do it often because it's just not something I want. But happy Thanksgiving or whatever here and there. I'm really glad to know she's okay and she's a good person, even if we weren't meant to be. Like, I want her to find love and happiness, and I'm so glad that Heidi is encourages her to be in my life. And but it definitely needs to be with closure because like this, it's not okay. Um, her and I have had one talk since then, because Heidi felt it was important for me to contact her and tell her that I was still in love with her. I think Heidi, I mean, she'll have to talk to you about where she is in this, but from what I'm understanding is she really likes that she knows a lot of couples. For instance, in a normal situation, if someone acted how I'm used to people acting, I would never tell her that truth. I would just, I feel like most couples would just say, no, no, no. I mean, that's in the past, I'm over it. And they would just be sucking it down, but then having struggles inside and maybe telling a best friend or not telling anyone. And I'm really glad Heidi and I are not in that place that we can talk about it openly because I think that would damage us if I was, pretending. So Heidi's really grateful for that and me being open about it. And so I have been like, feel like the Bachelorette on The Bachelor, or the Bachelor on The Bachelorette, where she feels like she has to make a decision. She's in love with two people, and even though I know what my decision is, it's just that being in love with two people, that feeling sucks. Like, it is not a fun thing at all. And I just want, like, it to go away. But not dealing with it or not contacting, and it's just not making it go away, so that just wasn't the answer. And which is why we hadn't been contacting each other since, and she really wanted me to reach out and just talk it through. And there's been talk of, shockingly, Heidi has talked, she really wants, like anyone wants to be chosen, right? Like, wants to be not the default decision just because we're already together, or. And I told her it's not fair to separate the kids and be like, make a decision without the kids, because I can't. Like, they're a package deal, and I love these kids like my own, and I love Heidi, and I can't like separate them. Like, I have her and the kids, and I make the decision with my heart with them. in mind. And so I know my decision, but she, I think, wants it to not be that it's a default, because one of the regrets is, from my ex and from me, is that she didn't come back sooner. Now for her, it's more probably I didn't come back sooner because I think we would have worked. And mine is more doubtful of, if you would come back sooner, I think I would still have ended up here, but that we would know that as much as we loved each other, as much as we gave it our all, as much as we're both amazing, badass women and good people, that even with giving our all, we wouldn't work, but at least we know we tried. When we're both giving at it, because that wasn't the case in the past. She was giving in the beginning and then ran and pushed for years, and I was giving my all. And there, in the beginning, when it was too fast and I didn't even know her to give, so there was never a time we were giving at the same time ever. And so it sucks to not get to see that, but I believe that Heidi's my person and these are my kids and this is where I would end up. But I think Heidi wants it to be, that's it's not just because she didn't come back in time. But so there was a thought she had of me maybe going to see her for closure, and there was like two kind of, now this hasn't been discussed with her because I don't even know that she would want this, but where there'd be like two options. One would be you go long enough to actually give it a try to see either if it is even possible that it would work, or we're not right for each other, or that is not even what I wanted and I just I don't even want that. I want to go home. But in that case, we'd have to break up, and then I just come back and see where Heidi is at and if that's even an option with her and the kids anymore. Or the other option was, Heidi said, with her full blessing, and she's actually at times encouraged it, where if it's just me going to get closure and kind of shut that door, even in romantic ways, that I have her full blessing that is not cheating, and to go and explore that, for a set amount of time, knowing I'm coming back and we don't break up. And my ex and I have had one conversation. We haven't talked about that, but we did talk about like my feelings, where I was at, and her, and she was very grateful because she just thought that she told me all this stuff, and I was just like, and great. I mean, I'm glad you told me. I wish you luck. I'm in love. I'm happy. And she was, which obviously she, in the good part of her, felt happy for me about, but there was a part of her that's like, wow, there's no part of her that had, had any feelings about it, and that's fine. It's not that she has to know that, but because Heidi encouraged me to tell her, she did feel grateful to know that, yeah, I found love and I found a happy life and kids, and I'm moving on, but it's not that there's not love for her, or a sadness that we didn't have closure, or there weren't real feelings, or that this didn't bring anything up. And that just felt kind of like a warm hug to her, to get to actually talk to me about it and hear that, and kind of healed something for her, because she had a lot of like open wounds and angered herself and crying out to God, and a lot of frustration, which she's gonna have anyway because of the mad at herself for being too late. But then it just felt, even harder and colder, I guess. So that really helped her, and that's really, contact-wise been all except like a happy Thanksgiving, or she's really been good about only ever contacting me about my family and being like, she knows some stuff my family's going through, and being like, I prayed for your family today and got this verse to share with Heidi, and I hope, your family and you, beautiful family, and you have a happy Thanksgiving. And she said if we only ever talk, like, touch base once a year, she understands, like, and not even, or if she someday maybe can come out and meet Heidi, and if Heidi would trust her enough just to be a friend, a couple, a friend to us as a couple in our lives, because she thinks thankfully that I'm a great person, and she really, loves me, and even as a friend doesn't want to lose. Like, she feels like she lost me as a friend because she pushed me away. And um anyway, so this is all a lot. We haven't made any decisions, and all of it scares me. um or even involved her on what she thinks about the decision yet. Also, life gets in the way. I mean, we had a big family thing that needed to take our priority, and so that got pushed to the back burner. Then we have holidays and family coming and going to see family and living our lives, and then I have a movie premiere and family and friends coming from both sides, and I mean family on both sides of and Heidi and I have a full life, and it doesn't stop, and I don't want it to stop, and so it does. Also, there doesn't really ever seem to be good timing because I have a life with these people that I want, and so it's like, when do you have time to break from your life and go like do this weird vacation that you know yeah, that ethically feels wrong, but obviously I would never do it without Heidi's blessing. And so then, because I have her blessing, then it's hard to say no to it. But then it's like, will it help or hurt everyone more? And like the ramifications and the regret. Will I regret not? It's like I'm stuck in that. If I don't do it, because I do have permission, will I regret that forever? Or if I do it, am I going to regret that I ever did it? And regret's a really hard thing for me, so. Anyway, that's where it's at. So, man, you got me crying, no makeup on, looking a mess, with the liners in. There you go. So hopefully you can understand all that, because obviously with crying it's hard to, hopefully the pop filter and the mic helped a little and you can actually understand me. But I told her I was going to record this today while she was gone, and then her and I will sit down and have a talk, kind of with each other in front of you, next. So stay tuned. Thanks. I love you guys. Sorry I'm such a mess. Bye.